Hello and a very warm welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, for those of you who follow the channel, you will know that Portugal is one of my favorite countries. However, in this video, I'm going to give you 10 reasons why I think that Portugal is a country where for now you should not invest in real estate. This does not mean to say that you should not buy property in Portugal, because as a lifestyle purchase, it is almost unbeatable. Anyway, here are my 10 reasons not to invest in the Portuguese real estate market. Number one, price growth. House prices in Portugal have shot up over the last 8 years or so. According to the Portuguese National Statistics Office, house prices have gone up by over 70%, which is well above the EU average. If you look at other statistical measures, such as the IMF, the figure is even higher. Now, if we look at some places in Portugal, such as the capital Lisbon, or even Cascais, Sintra, Estoril, and the Algarve, property prices are very expensive. So perhaps now is not the right time to invest. Number two, local affordability. Now, a good test of whether a property market is overheating is local affordability. This is definitely the case in Portugal, where average salaries are only about 1,250 to 1,000 euros a month gross, which is not on the high side. In Lisbon, salaries are not that much above the national average, and with property prices on average going towards 4,000 euros per square metre, you can see local affordability is very stretched. Number three, the end of the golden visa. Now, Portugal's golden visa was one of the most successful residency by investment programs, but as said, it's coming to an end. The program significantly boosted Portugal's economy following the financial recession. Many non-EU EEA citizens bought property in Portugal, typically for 500,000 euros, but often a lot less than that if they were buying in low density areas or renovation projects. And after 5 years, they could apply to become citizens of Portugal and hence get an EU passport. Now, you actually only needed to be in the country 7 days per year in the first year, then at least 14 days for every subsequent 2-year period. Now, as far as residential real estate is concerned, the scheme had already ended in popular areas such as Lisbon, Porto, and much of the coast. But now it is ending everywhere, which is going to be, I think, a hit to the economy and, for the case of this video, house prices. Now, I know the regional governments in Madeira and Azores are trying to fight this, but I think this is going to be futile. Number four, more intervention from the Portuguese government. Now, as well as ending the golden visa, the government's more housing program will mean a limit to rent increases and a suspension of licenses for short-term rentals outside of rural or low density areas. Therefore, another reason I think not to invest in the Portuguese real estate market. Number five, high total government debt to GDP. Now, a lot of people don't really talk about this in Portugal, but I want to be fair to Portugal and say that despite the pandemic, total government debt to GDP has fallen from 133% or around that mark in 2014 to around 114%. But in all honesty, this is still very high when compared to other countries in Europe, in particular Eastern Europe. And with this golden visa coming to an end, perhaps taxes may have to go up further in Portugal to fund this debt. Number six, uninspiring yields. Now, yields are not terrible in Portugal, but they're not that great either. So in Lisbon, we are talking around the 4% mark gross. Better than London or Paris, but hardly inspiring, especially in a pro-tenant market. Number seven, population decline. Now, Portugal's population is on the decline. In 2009, it was around the 10.6 million mark, but has now declined to around 10.2 million and is expected to decline further. Now, that's never a good sign for the property market. However, we must also state that cities like Lisbon and Porto are backing this trend. Number 8, bureaucracy. Now, generally, Portugal is quite a bureaucratic country, although, to be fair again to Portugal, it is by no means the worst. Number 9, very important, youth unemployment. Now, unfortunately, youth unemployment in Portugal remains stubbornly high at over 18%, which I think still is bad because it means a lot of young Portuguese are emigrating. And I always say when youth unemployment is high, it's never a good sign for that country. And of course, for this video, it's not a good sign for the property market. And finally, number 10, Portugal, like Spain, has a very socialist government. Now, listen, I understand people have their own point of view about politics, but when it comes to investing in the real estate market, you do not want a socialist government. That said, I want to be more positive about Portugal. Portugal is an absolutely beautiful country. Please do go and visit Portugal. It's not just Lisbon. There are so many beautiful areas of Portugal to visit. It's a lifestyle purchase. And I also want to say, when it comes to inflation, inflation in Portugal has actually dropped to 4% recently. And that's less than half of Brexit Britain at 8.7%. And I think even without the golden visa, I still think people, especially from other EU countries, are going to come to Portugal to buy property because it is a great retirement place and it's a great place to live. The lifestyle is amazing. And I'm going to stick by a video I made several months ago which expressed my opinion on the best places to buy real estate in Portugal. So I still think places like Coimbra, Braga, and in particular Madeira and the Azores still offer great value for money when it comes to buying property in Portugal. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I'd love to know your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you feel as though Portugal is still a real estate opportunity? I for now don't think so, but let's keep an eye on this market from an investment perspective as well. But again, I want to reiterate from a lifestyle perspective, Portugal for me is in the top 2-3 places in the world. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.